The world was at war.
But another, quieter battle was raging.
When I reported to work, the first statements to reach me were, "You can't tell what a crazy man might do. You need to show him who's boss." Some of the men were only 19, still boys, returning from the battlefield.
We thought of them as insane. We thought of their illness as a disgrace. We talked about it in low tones and tried to hide it. These ideas of people were wrong.
A few of us who worked in the hospital started gathering stories, horrific stories, about how men and women were being treated. We knew there had to be a better way. We were dreaming about a day when things would change and people with mental illnesses would be treated with kindness and love, like people.
Any civilized community should have been disgraced by the deplorable conditions of state-run mental hospitals. Religious leaders and lay people within the Mennonite Church began to actively look for a better way to treat those who were struggling with mental illness.
We moved forward with a big dream, despite the fact that we had no land or money to speak of. And then, in the spring of 1949, God created a way for us that we never expected.
10 years earlier, Gray Bill Landis and his wife Mary purchased the former Bachman estate in West Cornwall Township. The 167-acre farm was picturesque with rich farming soil, but Landis and his wife had no children to inherit the land, so they sought to give it back to God for His purposes. At a 1949 meeting, he offered the land at no cost to the mission that would become Philhaven.
22 names were submitted, but it only seemed right to call the new mental health facility Philhaven, which means Haven of Love.
By May of 1952, Philhaven officially opened its door to the public with 9 committed staff members, 5 women and 4 men. They, along with a half-dozen sister organizations across the country, helped revolutionize the mental health care industry and created a better way for men and women to receive treatment in a loving, caring environment.
1 in 4 people in the United States today will experience mental illness at some point in their lives. Last year, Philhaven provided services to almost 27,000 people. Every single day in one of our 54 programs, almost 950 people receive care.
My obsessive compulsive disorder just completely drove my life, that I had to stand in one spot for hours at a time, or I had to say the numbers in the right order for however long until I got it right. And I was thinking, I'm not mentally ill. Like, why am I here? I'm only 10 years old. There's nothing wrong with me. After I walked into my therapist's office and we had a chance to talk, I realized that she could help me get to the point where I could overcome it so I could live my life normally.
That is really what promoting hope, healing, and wholeness is all about. It's impacting people's lives in a way that allows them to integrate in their community and live fully.
We've continued to do this over the years, and as a result, Philhaven has evolved as an organization to be more than just a hospital, but an integral part of our community and the needs that our community has.
Look how far Philhaven has come, and who knows what our future might hold. We are honored to have leadership, staff, and a board who boldly dream out loud.
If I were to look 60 years into the future, I see us delivering services that are not just bound by a physical location, but that can be done electronically, like telemedicine and other services that we haven't even dreamed of yet.
My dream would be that Philhaven would lead the charge eradicating the stigma wrapped around mental illness.
I want us to be the employer of choice and the provider of choice.
I dream of a day when Philhaven could have a whole wing and a whole research team that looks at all different dimensions of clients' lives, that looks at the spiritual dimension, that looks at the psychological dimension, the emotional, the social dimension, and looks at how they fit together into a coherent whole.
I dream of a day when Philhaven would be available, accessible, like a franchise within larger healthcare systems.
I would love to have by the year 2020 commitments to an endowment of $20 million.
My dream would be that Philhaven has the capacity and sustainability to serve every person who needs care, regardless of their ability to pay.
What I see 60 years from now is that we're recognized nationally for not only our expertise, but the quality of care that we provide.
And so we dream into the future with great hope as we look back on all that has been accomplished over the last 60 years. We will always be looking for a better way to promote hope, healing, and wholeness. Continue to dream with us.